this state who lost a child at a play date. And that's another thing. If your kid is going to grandma's house, going to the neighbor's house down the way, ask. Ask about the unsecured firearm the same way that you ask about dogs or pools with no gate. Ask about the unsecured firearm.
Now, the mother in this case is being charged with child desertion. There have been other similar cases across the state, however, in which parents have not been charged at all. So the LVRC wants to standardize how these cases are charged and handled throughout the state. Reporting live in Harvey, I'm Casey Ferrand, WDSU News.
Casey, thanks. More money here at home to fight the growing threat of Zika. At a news conference today, Mayor Mitch Landrieu said it is just a matter of time before the virus is detected locally.
WDSU's Jennifer Crockett is at mosquito control in Orleans Parish with what they are doing now to prepare.
Today, mosquito control received an extra $500,000 from the city of New Orleans for targeted treatment of mosquitoes that could carry the Zika virus. Those mosquitoes are container breeders living in our backyards. There have been no locally transmitted cases here in Louisiana, but there are 17 confirmed travel cases statewide. And if those people are bitten, the infection will spread here. Zika also spread sexually and from a pregnant mother to her baby, causing serious birth defects and even fetal death. Mayor Mitch Landrieu said Zika is a serious concern here, and he called out Congress today, telling them, quote, do their job and pass $1.9 billion of federal aid.
Mosquitoes don't really respect political parties, and they don't respect Congress's timeline. They're kind of out and about and doing what they do, and we would like to ask our federal partners to do the same so that we can get to work and protect the people.
In addition to all the spraying that the parishes are doing, experts say that it only takes a couple drops of water and 7 days for mosquitoes to go from egg to breeding adult. And they say the best thing you can do to protect your family is to empty out any standing water near your home. Reporting on the lakefront, I'm Jennifer Crockett, WDSU News.
Speaking of water, a boil water advisory is in effect for parts of St. John Parish. People in Reserve, Garyville, and Mount Airy should boil their water for a full minute before consuming, cooking, or washing with it. The advisory was issued after a power outage at the Lyons Water Plant in Reserve.
A body was found this morning in Plaquemines Parish. The sheriff's office says that body of what appears to be an Asian male was discovered in Sugar Lake Bayou in Venice. An autopsy has been scheduled, but if you have any information that can help identify that man, call the Plaquemines Parish Sheriff's Office. And remains believed to be those of a 22-year-old Louisiana woman missing since April have been found in the Grand Canyon. Diana Zacharias of Natchitoches posted this selfie to her Facebook page the day before she went missing on Saturday. Park rangers found the remains while conducting training. Park officials say the tentative identification is based on evidence found there at the scene.
One man is in custody after a pre-dawn murder on the outskirts of Bogalusa. Washington Parish authorities say they found a woman shot to death at a house on Shorty Bush Road. Her identity has not yet been released. Authorities tell us Joey Mixon of the Bogalusa area was taken into custody in connection with the crime. Mixon is the name on the mailbox in front of the home where the crime occurred. While there is a lot of speculation on social media about what happened, authorities are saying very little until that investigation is finished.
The primary reason is that our detectives have asked us not to release any names or any details. I think there's probably a lot of speculation on Facebook and other social media, but we don't confirm or deny any of that.
Washington Parish authorities call the investigation complicated, saying more information will be released at the appropriate time. A pregnant woman and her unborn child are expected to recover after the woman was shot in Gretna. We brought you details on the shooting as breaking news in our late newscast Monday night. It happened near a Dollar General store along Harvey and Wall Boulevards. Authorities say the woman was in a car when someone shot at her. She was hit in the back. Anyone with information on this shooting is asked to contact the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office.
Still to come here at 6 o'clock, President Barack Obama hands out more than 200 second chances. Details on the Louisiana inmate whose request for clemency was granted.
Plus, a click of the mouse now gives you the power to track the police investigations in your neighborhood. We'll take a look at that new transparency tool.
And I'm Fletcher Mackel live in West Virginia at Saints Training Camp 2016. Coming up in sports, the plays of the day. Plus, we'll hear from some young defensive players charged with turning that unit around.
In an effort to build trust within the community, the New Orleans Police Department is giving you a way to see what officers do and when.
Raw police data is now available to the public, and all you have to do is log on through your computer or your smartphone. WDSC reporter Natalie He shows us how.
With a click of your mouse, you can now find what police are doing, when and why.
And we're not trying to hide anything about who we're stopping and when we're stopping them, or what we're taking a video when we're not taking a video. We know that these actions are occurring out in public, and it's important to convey this information back to the public.
New Orleans police say they're completely out front now with their efforts to keep our streets safe through the city's open data portal.
So the goal of the open data movement is largely to bring greater transparency and accountability to the organization, to improve public trust, and to kind of break down the barriers between the police department and the community in which we serve.
Councilmember Susan Guidry is the chair of the city's Criminal Justice Committee, and she thinks this wealth of data available to the public comes at the perfect time when tensions between police and community members are at an all-time high.
People won't have to speculate, that they won't have to, hear the negative folks talking and not know whether they're telling the correct story or not. They can go online and find out for themselves. And I think that if people want to know what's happening in their neighborhoods, I think it helps them to prepare to be more secure in their homes.
Natalie He, WDSU News.